Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akul Mac Technologies. Welcome to TopBrass. And as usual, I am joined by our host from United Kingdom, from London, Mr. Naval Gant. Good morning, Naval.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. And we're going to have a great spotlight event for you today.
Yes, they will. And as I told our viewers yesterday that we are coming with a surprise tomorrow. And the surprise guest is Mr. Satya Madala, who has previously come on Spotlight, and he basically talked about his offerings, what his company is doing, what innovation, etc. Today we will dive deeper into Satya's offerings. So welcome to Spotlight, Satya.
Thank you very much, CK. Thank you very much, Naval. So how are you, Naval?
Very well, Satya. Very well, Satya. And what we're going to do, first of all, is go straight into the detail. So I'm going to hand back to Chandra, and we're going to get into a few screenshots and a short video that might explain where we're going to today.
Sure.
Right. So, Satya, you tell us about, in terms of the offering in brief, what is that single point solution which is your company offer by and large to people?
See, single point solutions is totally concentrating on EV ecosystem, EV eco solutions. As I explained you in a last video, so we are providing A to Z solutions on EV space. So A to Z solutions means like starting from manufacturing the charging stations to till end user applications. So this is what actually and a brief services on EV space from single point solutions.
Great.
That's great. So from let's just look at the innovative step here, because I think this is always attractive to me. That innovative step of the structure that you formulated, the architecture. So just very briefly, a fairly high level, what is that architecture and structure you've built, which is that innovative step?
See, actually, we are segregated into few points. So just I can say one is EV e-mobility, EV energy, and EV charging point, and EV eco-friendly system. So what we are talking about is when we talk about architecture, so there would be a charging station and one end, and the charging station is connecting through WebSocket protocol to cloud system, and the charging station is controlled through cloud system, and another end we are considering user experience by using a e-mobility mobile application, and just we are providing some services to administrator to add, delete, and to maintain charging stations. So when it comes to architecture, when I am talking about EV ecosystem, so first thing what I am talking about is charging station manufacturing. So we are providing a hardware, charging station hardware, and we are providing a service, configuring the charging station, and we are providing a service to maintain the charging station on over the air, and we are giving a service to user to use the charging station through mobile application, and we are giving a administrator dashboard to administrate the charging station. So these these things are already framed, and I'm going to explain you each and about about each point. So when I talk about administrator part, so administrator can configure the charging station so on a portal on his dashboard. So like so the charging station, once it is installed on the roadside, or it can be a domestic or it can be a commercial charging station. So when the commercial charging station is configured at a roadside, so that would be routed through some protocol, so to administrator dashboard. So that means administrator is going to register the charging station, so in his dashboard, wherein he can configure, so he can configure the price of the charging per unit, and the connectors. So connectors means actually for a EV vehicles there would be a different connectors. Each station carries a different connectors. So connector means, just in a layman word, it is a plug. It's a plug from charging station to vehicle. So when the vehicle comes to the charging station, there is he needs to put that plug into the charging socket. So that connector, it's some different types of charging connectors are there. So that connector can be configured in the dashboard, in a administrator dashboard. So this will be visible to the end user. That end user will use the mobile application to find out where the charging station is, and the charging station, he can see what is the connectors or chargers, the connector type of the connector he can see on the mobile application. So that mobile application will route the person to that particular charging station. So
that sounds brilliant. Can I just jump in there, because I'm getting a picture in my mind, like anything else. The audience will have seen a video and seen some screenshots, but I'm getting a picture in my mind of this little robot charging station, on the side of a road, or a truck stop, or a cafe, or even even a home, a real estate area, where this seems to be a really multi-user opportunity. But clearly what you've got is a sort of a, again, we've all grown up with IT here. We've got hardware and software, and it's a nice package that talks to each other. Am I right in that arena? This beautiful dashboard that you've talked about, for the administrator. Let's leave the end user to one side for the moment, and let's focus on these administrators, because there's a huge amount of home development going on, not just in India, but around the world. And as we know, EV is the way forward. One of the biggest problems we have in the UK is lack of charging points. Tesla got in early, and if you've got a Tesla, you're lucky, because it's in most of the service stations. But what you're saying here is almost like it's a white labeled product available for any service provider. So let's look at the type of service provider that would really be interested in, and you'd be interested in listening to, like the ecosystem as you talk about. So there's real estate, there's service stations. I mean, there's even large companies, with, multi-high-rise type buildings. So what type of client base do you think that this might appeal to?
See, any company, just infra companies who wanted to establish these charging stations, so just they need to come out with their idea. So, and they need to show us only the place where to install, and we will come into the picture with our total ecosystem, wherein actually I can give a hardware, so along with the software in the configuration of charging station, and we can say like. Not only the configuration of, not only the establishment of charging station, will configure to maintain the charging station on a portal itself. So wherein actually any person without going to the charging station, he can reset the he can reset the charging station by using his portal, by using his dashboard. So once the charging station is established, means by using our technology with some protocol, we connect to the cloud. So it can be managed, it can be maintained on the portal itself. So the architecture what we came up with is some sort of protocol program we got, wherein it will, once the IP address is mentioned in a charging station, automatically it sends the data to cloud. So data the cloud means it's not only one data. Actually, there would be multiple data, which is even it recognize the battery management system which is in a car. So the battery type and what is the charging available in the car, and what sort of a charge it requires and how much time it will take. All the information will be ported to cloud. So wherein actually administrator can manage it, and administrator can again monitor it on the dashboard, from the dashboard itself. So this is the service. I think did I answer your question?
You did absolutely perfectly, because what you've given is it's almost like a maintenance solution. So very simply, if you're putting a lift into a building,
yep,
you want the maintenance of the lift to be taken care of by somebody else.
Exactly.
So you have a premises manager, and that premises manager would be perfect for your dashboard. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So even actually we are giving a power consumption of charging station, and the power consumption by each vehicle. So the vehicle which comes to the charging station and charge the the car, right, or the car or vehicle. So even we are giving analytics about that car, about that vehicle also. So say for example, if Infra company wanted to provide us some SaaS-based model. SaaS-based model means like people can subscribe it, and by giving some advance money. So when they are giving these subscription models, so our ecosystem is perfectly suited to their business. So they can manage the price for each location, also location wise price and location wise power consumptions, and it is also useful for discoms. So the discom can know what sort of power the each charging station is required, so that they can manage their analytics. And we are providing some sort of analytics to discoms also. Discom means actually the electricity boards. So even they will come to know what is the consumption in that area. So when the charging station is established in that area, so what is the consumption on that particular transformer? All these analytics we are providing, and we are providing some sort of analytics to user also. So our ecosystem is providing everything. It doesn't require to look for somebody to get some other services from somebody. So we are providing everything. We are architecting in such a way. So we are architecting in such a way, everything is managed in our ecosystem. So that's what the solution is.
It's absolutely brilliant, and what I'm hearing is that there's lots of fleet managers out there that might be well interested in this type of analytical arena, and coming from a background of distribution. One of my first jobs when I left university was finding the optimum positioning for distribution plants around the country. And clearly that takes not just the optimum distribution for local distribution, but also for mass distribution to that arena. So it sounds to me like a really great opportunity for fleet managers to be involved here and to maintain their fleet in the optimum way and reduce the maintenance cost of their ongoing traffic. So now let's look at the user end.
Mm-hmm.
So you're now looking at me, for instance. I've bought this electric vehicle, or maybe it's dual fuel vehicle, and one of the biggest problems I have here is I can my car can travel about 200 miles without being recharged. I know that I can have a very fast recharge. So I'd like to get into that area. You know, is that damaging my battery with a fast recharge, or do I need to create little coffee stops on the way? But my biggest problem is knowing where these potential recharging stations are, but more importantly, not knowing that they're there, but knowing that when I turn up, they're empty, and I can actually use it. And that's one of my biggest problems. I'm sure lots of people listening in will have that problem too, because it's all right having little dots around the world, you know, around your local area, but actually when you turn up, you find out, just like going to a petrol station, there's a queue of vehicles in front of you, and now you're waiting potentially an hour. So let's look into that, the real user benefit of your app.
Yeah. So we provided a mobile application for we catered every what do you call, like every requirement in that. Say for example, now, so user can find out the nearest, like, you know, we are providing a mobile application. In that mobile application, once user registered with his details, and you know, we are authenticating, and all this security we are also security we are providing, and we are providing some OTP security and authentication, OTP authentication and QR code authentication. All these things are there. That is one part. The second part is, when he entered into the mobile application, so he can find out the nearest charging stations on based on the connector. So based on, you know, just he can drag his kilometer bar. So to, you know, certain, like, you know, if he wanted to find out a charging station in a 3-kilometer distance, he can drag that, and he can find out the charging station on connector basis. Say for example, if his car is carrying some type 2 connector, so wherein actually he can find out the charging station, type 2 connector charging station on our mobile application, and the energy and the availability. So the connector availability, sometimes, you know, if you are trying to reach the charging station in 1 hour time, whether the connector is available in 1 hour or not, and if it is if the charger is unavailable, if the connector is available, so he can reserve the charger, he can reserve the connector also. So this is a searching part. So once he search for the charging station, then it will route to, like, you know, we are using a Google Maps to to show the route to that particular charging station. Once he reached to the charging station, then, you know, he needs to take his mobile application and read the QR code. So once he read the QR code, just he needs to put the connector into his car. So the connector, our system will find out what is the charging available in a car right now, and what is the time to recharge the remaining percentage. And once it is recharged, once he puts that connector, so it gets all the information, all the information about the BMS battery. So once he get that information, then our system will calculate what is the time, what is the duration to charge remaining part, and what is the payment for that. And based on that, the payment is based on the location. So once the charging, our system is calculated that payment, so it will connect to the payment gateway. So he needs to, the money will automatically detect from the mobile application. Automatically his car will get charged. So this sort of whole mobile application we are providing, which I can say it is a unique mobile application which manages user and user vehicle, and the payment part and the gateway, and without a human intervention he can charge his car. So these are the
That's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, the thing is, what you've just explained is that I've pulled up to a gas station, I've filled up with gas,
Yep.
I've paid, and I've cleared off, knowing that everything that I needed, it was there ready for me. I went in, I plugged and played, I paid for what I've just taken, and I'm happy. I'm out of the way.
Yeah.
That's it's been. I think that's a great place to end, because it's the user benefit that we're after here. You know, all the infrastructure, architecture, the users don't need to know about. You know, that's your forte. But I'd like to thank you for explaining it in layman's terms, you know, because I'm not a technologist here, you know.
Yeah.
Satya, it's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've got a really good insight for this. I'm imagining these pictures in my mind now of all these great charging stations locally to me, and I can just flip an app up and it's going to tell me not only where they are, but the fact that no one's using them. And even I can even book a time slot that I could sort of jump into and pre-book it in some respects, give or take a few minutes while I get there. So I've got a great idea of what's going on. I hope our listeners, our friends listening in here, have got a good idea. And just in literally a closing remark, what I would like to reach out on your behalf to all of those ecosystem groups out there, fleet managers, building managers, maintenance managers, real estate developers, wherever you are, please reach out to Satya, because it sounds like not only is this a solution for tomorrow, frankly, it's a solution for today. So thanks again, Satya. Really appreciate you being on board. Any closing remarks you'd like to make?
I wanted to address the infra companies who wanted to come over and establish a charging stations. So we will provide a particular so unique technology to them. So that's what the last word I can give.
That's absolutely excellent, and it is unique, but it's available now. The innovation has been done. The opportunity now is come and talk to the expert.
Yes.
Because exactly, and you are the expert in this field. I know you're right up there in the technological part of the world. Now's the opportunity for all of you users out there, all you fleet managers, etc. Come and talk to Satya, because he really has a solution you should be listening to. Thanks again, Satya.
Thank you, and wish you all the best to your innovation and your initiatives in this area of electric vehicle charging. So wishing you all the best. See you next time, Satya.